Hope you're doing all right. Thank you very much for jumping on my video. So today I just feel like vlogging, and telling you a few things about me. I just feel like vlogging and telling you a few things about me and why I really want to work with you to bring your ideas to life. So if you look at the screen, you will see it's my Twitter page. My name is Paul. My name is Paul Okodowa, but I would regularly go with the name Paul No Code on YouTube, right? So if you've been following the No Code scene, maybe you must have watched my tutorial on Bubble, on Flutterflow, on Adalo, on a few other no code tools. If you've been, following no code for a while, and I've been doing this for a while now, and I think it has helped many persons build their mobile applications, right? So I've been teaching how to build apps with no code, and I have been consulting, and recently last year I started my personal design agency. So it's called Design Studio. So what I do with our Design Studio is that I partner with founders, solopreneurs like yourself to launch their product within 4 weeks. So just within 4 weeks, you are able to launch your product, right? That's what I do. And most time, this product, they are MVP based. So let's say, for example, you have an idea and you want to take it to the market so you can prove a point that the market exists. So probably you have something like 2 or 3 features, and we build it within 4 weeks, we test, and then we put it in the Play Store, on the App Store, and then we are able to make some very good money for you, and then we can keep on adding features as you go, right? I've worked on a couple of projects, right? I've been here for a while, worked on all of these projects, lots of different projects, and I'm currently working on a few. I think this is just 12 minutes ago. So currently working on a few, and just helping other founders bring their passion to life. Bring what they think in their heart and bring it to life. That's something that I do, and something that I really want to do for you, right? How do I work? So the way I work is this. So first thing first, if you contact me now and say, hey Paul, I really want to build my mobile applications and I really want to work with you, the first thing that we're going to hold is something called a discovery call. So what a discovery call does, it really shows if we are good together. So if we're good together, or if we are if we can really help ourselves, right? That's what a discovery call shows. If we're good together, and if we can help ourselves, and if we can work with each other. So I'm going to ask you things about your idea, and sometimes if you want to sign an NDA before the discovery call, it's fine, because some ideas are really novel, they're really new, and lots of founders don't really like people hearing their idea without signing a non-disclosure. So that's something that I sign freely, and it's something I sign freely when I work with client. So during the discovery, I will ask you questions about your idea. I will ask you when you want to start. I'll ask you questions about your budget, and I'll ask you questions about the timeline. I'll ask you questions about your future. I'll ask you questions about the future of the business. Where's this leading to? Is this just going to be a one-time thing? Is it not going to be a one-time thing? That's something that I'll ask you. And if we kind of align on everything, budget and everything, and we will move to the next stage, which is me sending you back what you've told me, and you and I working on a scope together, and saying the features that you want, and we will begin to work on your must-have. So one thing that I do with founders who reach out to me is that we split the features into 3, because lots of founders get to come around and they say, hey, I want to build all of this stuff. And they come with so many different features. Some founders come with like 20 features, 40 features, 30 features, because they think they come with so many different apps together right? So many different apps together. They want to combine, say, TikTok scrolling, they want to combine Instagram features, they want to combine a whole lot of things on their applications in Flutterflow. So what I do for them is that I help them to break this features into must have, might have, and will have, right? So must have is the one that we're going to settle and build, and then the might have, it's something that you can put in the future, right? And then the will have is something that you also want to have in the future. So it's just arranging them based on priority as it concerns the app that you want to build or the problem that you're solving. So if we once we cross that hurdle and we're okay with that, the next thing that I'm gonna do for you is to sign you a tiny contract. I would normally send a one-pager or a two-pager contract to you, and this will itemize all the things you want to do, the timeline, the budget, and the rest. And if you sign it, then I'll send you an invoice and we'll start working. So I would normally do 50% before and after projects, right? That's how I do it. And then once we're done with that, I will move into action, and I will advise you on things like database to use based on your project. I will advise you on the integrations that we're going to do. If you're going to add AI, I'm going to advise you on how you should do that. So I'm going to advise you on all of these things differently, right? And then once you're okay with those suggestions, I will go ahead and begin to design high and low fidelity. So I will start with low fidelity, and we'll go ahead and design high fidelity. So most times I will start with high fidelity because of the timeline. So timeline is 4 weeks, and so there's really no time to go through low fidelity process, sketching, and the rest. So I will just go all the way to the high fidelity. But the way the high fidelity would be is that everything will be designed feature by feature, so that you can approve those features and I can begin building from what you've approved. So meanwhile, before now, I've already done like user flow, right? I've shared user flow with you, and we understand where the user is going to go from end to end. So here we're going to be, so if you look at this particular app that I'm currently working on, you would see splash screen, you would see authentication, then you see dashboards, properties, listing. So it's a property listing application. You would see all of this stuff, and that's how we're going to work on them one after the other, until everything just makes sense. You can see the web part of it. This is the web aspect of things, pretty different from the mobile, right? So that's how we work on it one after the other. So once you're okay, you're okay with the particular features that we want to work on at a particular time, I'm going to come back to you and say, hey, create a project on Flutterflow, and we'll begin to work on it while we give you real-time feedback. You're added to a Slack channel, but we're going to give you feedback, video feedback once in a week, every Friday, to show you progress that we've made, to tell you, hey, we're making progress, and I think this is something that you want to take a look at, right? So that's basically the way I work, and we'll keep on going back and forth, and towards the 4-week mark, we would be able to upload your app for testing. And depend on your timeline when you want to launch. If you're launching within that 4 weeks, we'll definitely help you launch your product within that 4 weeks, right? That's the way I will work. And I'll just chip in this. These are some of my favorite tools. I will use Figma to design. I will use Flutterflow to build the app. I will use Slack to communicate with you, Slack or email to communicate with you. And then I will use Firebase for my database. It really depends on the kind of app you're building. Some apps require you to use some sort of a relational database, right? It really depends on the kind of app you're building. So I will normally use either Firebase or I will use Superbase, right? Superbase, I love Superbase because it's pretty straightforward and it's very easy to use. It's a NoSQL database, and I love Firebase. Also because the infrastructure is so good and it's so robust. but I think I'm exploring Xano. Xano is a very cool no-code backend. It's API, so it uses APIs for every single thing that you want to do, and I think it really saves. It saves you a whole lot of work, right? Xano saves you a whole lot of work. You can do everything like featuring, everything right here in Xano, and it just makes sense. So all this time when you're featuring in Flutterflow, you don't have to if you're using Xano. You can feature as you like and only show the data that you want to show because you're doing everything via APIs. So I'm exploring Xano currently. It's not something that I've used in a project before, but I'm going to be recording some videos on my experience with Xano as I move forward. Right, and then I use Buildship. So everything that I want to do with AI, I will either use the AI tool directly or I will use Buildship to run it. Buildship is so cool, allows me to build APIs as fast as possible. So if there are other external services that I want to integrate with, right? Other external services I want to integrate with, or other I want to call AI tools. I want to check for payments. I use Buildship. Buildship can integrate with all of these tools, like as many as they can be, like all of it. Buildship can help you. Say, for example, I want to send a message on Discord when something happened. I want to send a message on Slack when something happened, or I want to send a message when the person make payment. Stuff like that. Instead of trying to combine all of these plenty services together, I use one API to do all of this. So with Buildship, I can combine Google Search Console, open format loops, everything, one API. And I do it on Buildship, and I can use it on my mobile application, right? And I think for payment, I would normally use either Stripe, if it's a product thing. So if you're going to be paying, if users are just going to be buying your product, so maybe for an online store and stuff like that, so I would normally use Stripe. But if it's not an online store, I would use Adaptive. Adaptive or Revenue Card, but mostly I've been using Adaptive recently. That's what I do, especially if a person is going to be buying subscription, because Adaptive itself is easy to implement. I'm going to be doing a tutorial on this on the channel, how I use Adaptive. Adaptive is easy to implement, is user-friendly, and it's just straightforward. It's way more straightforward when you compare it to a service like Revenue Card. And also Adaptive is user-friendly. It's very beginner-friendly for founders who are just getting started. The pricing, I think the pricing is cool. This person says it's free for up to 2.5K, but if you go to Adaptive and you check the pricing, you will see that it's free for up to 10K. So you can use Adaptive for free all the way to 10K, and that's the reason why I really love it. So I could use other tools depending on the project, but these are the major tools that I use when building applications with Flutterflow. So I and my team, right? I have a team. I have a full stack developer. I have a designer. My wife, she's our lead designer here. We have 2 designers on the team. We have 2 Flutterflow front-end designer, and then we have a back-end designer on the team, and we have other friends that we reach out to when we have a whole lot of gigs, right? So if you are looking forward to launching that application within 4 weeks, feel free to click on the link below. Just chat me up privately, or schedule a call, chat me up privately, and I'll definitely do well to reach out to you and I will make sure that I bring your project to life. Just chat me up and we'll get started. I'm looking forward to working with you. Thank you very much for watching this, and thank you very much for exploring my work process with me. Thank you. I'll see you in a different video entirely.